such an asshole.
A reminder that hold off your super chat still tomorrow, because today we got to bang them out. So it's $100 minimum super chat today. We've had none. I'm very sad. Very sad. What's the world coming to? I don't get $100 super chat. God damn it. Cappy, you mentioned stuttering in one of your videos as one of the many made-up disorders affecting today's generation of men. As a stutterer, it was relieving to hear that. I was relieved. It was relieving to hear that, but I was hoping you could expand on the subject, since many of us overestimate the gravity of our predicament. Thanks. We'll keep you anonymous. All right. Now, I don't ever say, I doubt, because deep down inside, I don't believe that stuttering isn't a thing. But among with all the other mental disorders, I believe it is grossly overdiagnosed and being abused for many different reasons, some of which the quote, what would it be? Patient, the person infected with the disease is faking an ulterior motive. Or especially if you're younger, all the adults, for lack of a better description, in your lives have ulterior motives. And so what that has happened, or what has happened now, and by the way, this is just Zoomers, you're just the youngest ones, and millennials are in their 40s now, so they got to figure it out. What has happened is this is, well, any lie that you are given when you're a young person, kid, or young adult, and you believe it, if it isn't true, it is absolutely destroying, absolutely life destroying. So, for example, telling young boys to be themselves and be really nice in the sensitive 90s girls just be. No. I don't know how many generations of men just got their asses kicked, destroyed, tortured in the dating life, love life, sex life, because they believe that hog shit coming from boomers. Millennials, tell me if you've been told a lie or two, particularly about this one. Any degree's a good degree. You got to go to college. With no consideration as to what degree you get, or if you really ought to. Hey, what happens if 65% of us all get college degrees? Oh, what else? Another lie told to that is just incalculable to ruin people's lives is you girls telling that you don't need men. Men are evil. Men are the horrible patriarchy. All that. I don't know what that's like, believing half the population is your enemy, and unconsciously, but normally unconsciously, are constantly oppressing you and fighting you. There's that. And then I'm just trying to, there's so many lies they've told generations of young people. And then mental illness, that's another one. What if for ulterior motives, you were lied to and told you had a mental illness when you didn't? Can you imagine how fucked up that is? You imagine how much that would fuck you up? And so the I wouldn't call it precarious, but the nuanced situation I find myself in, I think I speak for the majority of people because we have our heads out of our ass, is I don't think anyone's denying that no one's saying there's no such thing as mental illness. No one's saying there's no such thing as stuttering or autism or whatever, bipolar. Choose your mental illness. But goddamn, if 90% of you are either faking it or you don't got in, we're misdiagnosed with it. And so I'm going to go through the 8 main reasons, not to come up with, I don't like 8 reasons, shocking evidence, shocking discovery. Research shows, studies suggest 8 main reasons that you were lied to about having a mental illness. All right. First, you're lied to because your parents didn't want to parent. Right? You're a normal, especially boys, but girls as well. You're a normal boy. You don't want to be cooped up in a room all day with some harpy schoolmarm pain in the ass, regurgitating the same shit because the dumb kid, we all got to slow down for the dumb kid. Right? Your Miss Mom's gone because frankly, the career is more important than the kid, right? Right? Choices, right? Dad, same thing. Your car, your boat, more important than the kid. Sit down and teach your kid. No, gotta work. Parents are lazy. They don't want to parent. And I don't know if you knew this or not. You come out like not entirely bright. At 0 years old, you're not exactly going to be applying to Goldman Sachs for that senior analyst position. Might need a little bit of training. And man, do parents just not want to parent in this country? They want to ship you out to daycare, ship you out to a nanny. That should tell you something. All right. So most of the parents don't want to parent. Imagine that. The kid doesn't have his family. Oh, divorce anyone? Oh, I can't imagine. No, the kid doesn't have a mental illness. He just has shitty parents. Came from a broken home. Yeah, no, that's what is it? PTSD. Yes. Yeah, no, he's got divorced parents. That's what he's got. Oh my God, the kid's acting up when mommy brought home the fifth boyfriend in a week. So there's that. Then well, you're acting up. You have a mental illness. No, you're actually quite rational, little child reacting. You're lied to because parents didn't want to own up to being shitty parents. Kind of the same. They didn't want a parents that led to you acting up. And they can't admit though, like, well, we were really crappy parents, whatever. Abusive home, loud, combative, no one's around, neglect. I don't mean like the day you weren't fed, but no one sat you down. You didn't have parents around. You had a mom and a dad that lived under the same roof, but they were always, oh, you gotta go here, you gotta go there. Oh, blah, blah. Drop you off at grandma's. Were you rate? What was it? Was it Chris Rock? If you call your grandma mom or something else, something bad consequences. And you gotta understand, oh, my child, they know the shitty parents. But man, especially the boomers, and now more modernly the Gen X, they're not gonna let their pride take the hit. What? My son or daughter has a thing wrong in their head, and it's not me, a shitty parent? It's not that we got divorced? Oh, well, thank God. It's like being a born again Christian. Jesus forgives my shitty behavior. Oh, here's a draw. My child has a disease. So that's another one. You lied to because school isn't for boys. I can't speak for girls. I do know. I can't imagine it's good for girls either. I mean, maybe you girls like it, but school just is not good for kids. But it's definitely not good for boys. And surprise, boys with a lot of energy, you're safe. I mean, to this day, I want my 13 years of youth back. And I want those teachers to pay for it. School is not a place for boys. It is not. Oh, there should be schooling. There should be an education. Sitting in a room for 13 years? I'm surprised all the boys don't have some seemingly form or symptoms of mental illness. And of course, teacher, oh yeah, he misbehaved. Why? Because he could only sit there for 7.5 hours, not the 8 hours, 15 minutes we needed him to. He got a little antsy and riled up. So we need to put him on Riddle. And I know it's not as simple as that. But oh my God, the boys are acting up. No shit. Oh, it must be a mental disorder. Yeah, not a shitty school system. Absolutely not that. Right? Because the adults can never be wrong. Lied to because your parents wanted to be popular. Now I'm gonna be little saucy here. Usually that's your mom. Oh my daughter! The memes going around where it's Photoshop, but the mom's looking all like pleading with the son, and the son's like, oh, he's like, Mom, I'm not gonna cut off my junk just so you could be popular on Facebook. That's obviously not every parent, let alone mom, but it is some. A lot of you kids, you got to realize you were just a check mark. You were just a check box, a box to check. Have kids. Now, mommy and daddy got to get to going to getting our magic SUV and our flights to Europe. And I don't know why, but it does happen where it's like, my child has, oh, shut the fuck up. Even if they do, like, okay, I get it. Maybe you want to warn people. I don't know, but it, like, I don't have like, let's say my dog was petarded. Okay. I don't have a son. My dog is a special need dog. What's wrong with your dog? Guys, he's stupid. You know, he's got mental problems. He's not all there. I love my dog, but oh my gosh. Somebody hello me. Me. That's a thing. And to be fair, in the blame game here, what are we up to? We are up to number 5. Your dad just didn't want to do the hard parenting. He didn't want to discipline you. Didn't want to do negative conditioning. I am for spanking. I know Phil Foster, Stephen Molyneux, and other men who have studied it more than me, and actually our fathers are against it. Fine. The fathers did not discipline. The father never came in and said, knock it off with that shit. No. And if you don't, consequences. I perhaps am not as patient as Mr. Foster or Mr. Molyneux, because I'd be looking at my kid like, I'm not negotiating with a 3-year-old. Do the thing now without asking me. Do you know how long it took your mother to understand this? I kid. I don't get married, so I don't have to worry about that. You guys are married, get to worry about that. I will leave if this doesn't change. Got it. Volunteerism, great libertarian policy, great principle. But yeah, your dad didn't come in there and you should have some street smart, worldly father, little Susie, Dad, I think I'm pansexual, 15, like, yeah, you know what? That might be the case, but we're going to wait on this. And no, I'm not going to pay for your drug transition or having you have things cut off for surgeries. We're going to wait until you're 18. Go talk to someone. I love you. I'll be there. If you want. This turns out not to be a fad, fine. But you don't have. I don't know. The dad's on around. They get divorced. They do the yes, dear, because mom would divorce him at any drop of a hat, including when their daughter doesn't want to go and have things removed from her chest. But I might get divorced. It's like, dude, your daughter is about to do something never to come back from again. There's worse things than divorce. But you need the lightning Thor, the lightning bolt of reason, and that would be the father. Say, knock your shit off. Stop acting like a freaking moron, or you'll limp in a circle. And then the kid doesn't act like a moron. Oh my gosh. I bet you the data is out there, but I guarantee you the American Psychological Association, the psychology industry, and the schools and all that, and the pharmaceutical industry. Not a big conspiracy theorist, but I guarantee you any data that showed the kids that grew up with their fathers did better mentally, had less incidence of mental illness. They have buried that research, so far gone, but you don't need research for that because that's common fucking sense. So a lot of you didn't have your dads growing up. A lot of you had present but not participating dads. Oh, my dear. Oh, well, whatever. Let's just cut every appendage off because then it'll be a quadriplegic, amorphous, asexual being. We could get likes on the internet. Again, not, by the way, parents, not saying you don't have someone who's legitimately mentally ill. I'm just saying for every one of you, there's at least 3 or 4 fucking posers out there. Number 6, lied to because it's easy to explain shit on a disease. The human brain is very different, complex. Every kid's going to act up. Every kid's going to go through a phase. That doesn't mean they're mentally ill. Oh, well, yeah, obviously. Oh, it's this disease. Here's some drugs. It's in short, it's all easy. Something goes wrong, mental illness. Blame it all on mental illness. Not like, oh, no one raised a kid. It was outsourced to a nanny. Went to random people at daycare. Kid didn't have mother, close contact. Dad wasn't around. Dad was a douche. Dad, there was 5 different men in the kid's life, none of which were dad. It's just easier. Oh, yeah, you got a mental disorder. It's like, no, kid's actually right. You're the ones that are wrong. Hey, isn't it? Doesn't take Sherlock Holmes to see all the increase in mental illness and the diagnoses and say, you know where they all come from? Parents. Now, it may not be around, but I got to imagine parents might have something to do with it. Then you go running, oh, it's the water, it's the drug, the chemicals. It's like, and don't forget shitty parents. Yeah. And then they grab the kid and use it as a shield. Yeah, he's got it because you hate the kid. No. Unlike you, I like the kid. I feel bad for the kid. Got a shit pissed mom for a parent and an absentee father. You're lying to him, saying there's something mentally wrong with them. He's right to be pissed. Oh, so it's just easy. Oh, God did it. Oh, the rain gods. Oh, Saint Autism visited us. There's obviously finance 7 lied to because of profit of the pharmaceuticals. Now, pharmaceuticals, I don't believe they're paying a kickback to teachers. Maybe therapists and doctors, I don't know, but I am saying there's a financial motivation, and pills are simple. Look, kids, young adults, how quick is the adult generation run into that Ozempic thing, huh? Huh? Come on, look at that. Isn't that proof positive that everyone's just trying to avoid responsibility in real work? What, you think it's easy raising a kid? Pop, here's a magic pill. Pop, here's a magic pill. Oh, good. Your kid's all fine. That right there might be a class action lawsuit for some of you young kids out there where you find out you're incorrectly diagnosed with a psychotropic, meaning brain altering drug. Again, not a neurochemist, not a neurologist, don't know what the effect is on kids growing brain drugs, different chemicals. You're fucking with somebody's brain. How many of you had chemicals applied to your brain because of a misdiagnosis? That's what I want to know. And all of you shut the fuck up in the comments section about, you don't understand. I actually do understand. I'm the only one going to bat for these kids, apparently. I'm so sick and tired of, especially that. Well, don't worry, we're going to get to the kids' responsibility there. But man, there's way too many ulterior motives you adults have to just shirk your responsibility of being a parent. Well, Saint Asperger's came and visited our special little child. Too bad your father wasn't around to see it. And then there's another one. And this is the only one that pertains to the individual, not the parents of the adults or the misleading in your childhood years. And that is, you lied to yourself because you don't want to work to become valuable. And that's happening across the board. For example, this is especially you Zoomers. You Zoomers were lied to by the adults in your life that the most important thing about you is how hard I work? No. What do I do with my life? No. The thoughts and creativity that I have, what contribution? No. What is it then? It's the way you were born. It's the complete opposite of what Martin Luther King said. Oh, are you black? Oh, extra special points. Are you woman or female? Oh my God. Are you Hispanic? Ooh, or Latinx? Are you gay, bi, or simply not straight? One of the many different varieties. I mean, ooh. And then this isn't exclusive to white males or white kids in general. But when you're white and certainly male, you don't got a trait. You don't got a little club or a flag to rally under. You don't have anything special. Matter of fact, they'll go and say, you're oppressing all these people. Lady, I just got here 8 years ago. What are you talking about? I just want to play with my truck. So let's say you're a boring old white person. I don't have a disability. I'm not disadvantaged in any way. Unless. Oh, well, do you remember Lacey Green? I'm pansexual. No, you're an attention whoring idiot moron. In other words, I like to use. You're not pansexual. You're just bored and you want attention. The number of gay did the poll. Number of high schools identifying as not straight is like 20%. Fuck you. Not only you outright lying, that's an offense to the, well, I don't know, 4 or 5% of students who actually aren't straight, whichever gender variety they might be. And it's also offensive, just like sexual preference, which is amorphous, you can make it up. And by God, did they make up a bunch of different ones? I'm a Bulbasaur sexual. I'm a Pikachu sexual. Tee all these different signs and colors and pattern. Like, he's my trading card. It's a designer sexual preference. That's what it is. Be edgy, kids. We just bought Cavaricci pants. We didn't like make up sexualities. But just like that, mental illness is another one that you can do. I'm autistic. I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit. And because there's so much tremendous pressure to put values on traits you were born with, or traits that you were born with, okay, fine, you were born with them, or you claim to have. It's oh yeah, oh I got the I think I'm sad. Oh, I got whatever. Used to get a lot of requests. I suffer from social anxiety. So fuck you. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're a fucking nerd without a dad. You don't go out, you don't play football, you don't get pushed around a bit, you don't exchange insult with guys, you've never left your house, you stay in the fucking bedroom all day playing videos. The fuck you got social anxiety disorder. You're just a nerd who's too much of a coward to go out and play. And so when I start to see 1 in 5 young people claiming not to be straight, and Lord knows what percent claim a mental illness, I have my suspicions. Now, the difficult position is there probably such a thing as social anxiety disorder? Like you have a panic attack going out. You legit, yes, probably. I would believe it. Is there such a thing as PTSD? Yes. A friend of mine got hit by an IED. He definitely has it. But Becky with her master's degree, oh my goodness, they didn't have soy for my latte, living off my daddy's dime. I so suffer. But shut the fuck up. And so here's the problem and the paradox I would face with you or anyone else who could legitimately believe they have a mental illness, or you could be faking it. I don't know. I didn't ask. But anyone can say, like, I got a mental illness. My question is, do you really? Do you really? How would you know? Like, for example, let's say you're faking it. You know you're faking it. You should be ashamed. It's disgusting. There are people who actually are suffering from mental illness. You're a poser trying to belong to some community that you're not. I'm not against bigotry, but different people should have their different groups. There's the LGBTQ group on campus. I bet, I bet there's a lot of LGBTQ groups, whether high school or college. I bet you're sick of the posers, right? Someone coming in for popularity points, not that they don't actually are whatever sexuality they claim to be. That unto itself is insulting. But for the people who actually suffer from mental illness, and you're coming up, oh yeah, me too. But deep down inside, you know that you're faking it. That's despicable. You're a horrible human being. And if you want to be cured of it, then I would say you should feel guilty about it and just simply knock it the fuck off. Where it gets a little weird, or not weird, but gets difficult is what if you don't really have a mental disorder? You've just been told your entire life. Now, I don't know the effects on the human brain and psychology where you've been lied to your entire formative years to think you had a disease when you don't. That probably creates a whole new legitimate mental illness or mental problem. But what if you were misdiagnosed with autism or Asperger's? Let's just say, no, let's go with social anxiety because that one, not to say the others don't have social ramifications, but the social anxiety kills your social life. Let's say you were misdiagnosed with that for the longest time, and you didn't go out and you didn't be social, and your parents agreed with you, and da 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 da. So it just kind of reinforced it. But deep down inside, you weren't. Just whatever, lazy, had a bad month at school. Kids were picking on it, whatever. But if you weren't diagnosed with it, you normally would have just been a normal guy, normal gal, had some kind of regular social life. Right? There, you may not actually have that mental disorder, but you've so believed in it for so long. One, you might as effectively well have it, or what I would think is there's some other kind of mental, I hate to say illness or you got a whole other mental hurdle to overcome. Like, oh, I never had this the entire time, and now do I have to go back and make up for lost time? So now you are disadvantaged at a social. So are you guilty of that? Are you being hypocritical? No, you were told to by the adults and everyone else that you're mentally ill or you had some kind of problem or whatever, when in reality you didn't. And so here's where it's great to be intellectually honest. Is intellectual honesty being honest with thine self. Know thine self. You're stuttering. Could be a legit case, right? And there you probably would go talk to a linguist, somebody specializing in that. I don't know who. I would go talk to an actual doctor, not a fucking shrink, not a fucking therapist, not with their, oh, we can't repeat 65% of the studies we've done, but we totally know what's going on with the human brain. I go, talk to the professionals, linguists, doctors, medical people. But is there a piece of you inside like, yeah, it's just bullshit? Or, yeah, I just get nervous. Well, then fucking talk. Go join Toastmasters. Because as long as you're honest with yourself, you're like, yeah, I actually do I have a problem talking to people. I stutter. I try not to, and I do it. Okay, well, then you're the first I know. And you're going to be honest with yourself. But if you're like, yeah, no, yeah, da, 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 da. Okay, did you do that on purpose? All right. Or do you have a fear you got to get over? Like, knock it off. Stop worrying about talking. Talk to people normally. Stop thinking about it. Just go and do it. And if you need to, go join Toastmasters, which in your individual case, I'd recommend it anyway, whether it's a legitimate case of stuttering or your dad just, hey, knock that fucking shit off. And it was fake. It's not going to hurt. But especially for all you young people out there that were told you had a mental illness, god damn, man. I'm afraid to find out what percent of you don't. It was just a misdiagnosis because of shitty parents. Fuck the psychology industry. That's a whole other issue. Versus those that actually, and the only way I could think about it, man, and at the end of the day, whether you are an alcoholic or you have autism or you have a stuttering problem, it's still you who's got to work at it. It's still going to be you. I'm socially anxious. Get out and take some ballroom dance courses and start fighting it. I I don't know. I'm trying to think of something. What else? I'm depressed. Well, are you dieting and exercising right? Are you getting enough sun? These things, even if you were legitimately diagnosed, you actually have that mental condition, it's not going to hurt you to go out and get some sun and get some exercise. And so, again, what percent of you have been bullshit diagnosed with fake mental illnesses? What percent of you are knowingly faking it deep down inside? That's a you problem. I don't know. But by God, it's like really 1 in 5, huh? 1 in 5. And until you fix it and diagnose it correctly, whether legit or not, through medicine, doctors, legit shrink, where you might want to find one of those. Or you say, yeah, you're right. I'm being an immature little brat. I'm using it for ulterior motives and attention. I'm going to stop that. There ain't going to be no progress. It's still going to be incumbent upon you to do it. But the first step is to say, wait, did I really? Did I? Or was I just a bored kid who wanted to get the fuck out of, go play in recess? I would say I'd say the majority, like 70%, not of all cases, of the fake cases or the the wrongly diagnosed, 70% you're all faking and you're just doing it for attention. Sorry. Don't care. And then at any point in time, you quite think about the people that actually have the mental disorder. Think about what that's like. And here you are doing it for popularity. Now, I'm not accusing you of that. I think it's probably the gray area you were told you had it because that starts off as a kid. Have you just tried stopping it? I know it sounds simple and naive and ignorant, but have you just tried stopping it? So there you go. We have no super chats. Awesome. People are following the rules. Link below. I got 2 resources, especially for those of you who are faking it and you know you're faking it. And for those of you, you don't know, maybe you're misdiagnosed. You don't know. They always told me 2 resources. 1, the dad you never had. And then 2, By the way, The Dad You Never Had is a course on Teachable. It doesn't talk about mental, and it just talks about getting your shit together in life and shit that your dad should have told you. I'll tell you, you probably don't have time for mental illness once you realize the entirety of shit you gotta do to support yourself. So that's one course. And then the other one is, oh yeah, Donovan, you're right, Bob Newhart. No, we don't do that. We don't do that here. Stop it. Just stop it. Stop it. Um, the other one is how not to become a millennial. Because millennials are given the exact same lies, but they're 40, they're adults now, and they've either figured it out or not. And that's it. That's a book. We'll see you guys on later. Toodles.